This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and this movie gives me an idea of what to expect when I finally lose my mind here. The Purple Rose of Cairo is a romantic comedy drama from 1985 directed by Woody Allen. Set during the Great Depression and following Cecilia, a woman who goes to the movies to escape the harshness of her real life, from a dead-end job to a loveless marriage. The most recent offering at her local theater, a comedy titled The Purple Rose of Cairo, quickly becomes a favorite as Cecilia finds herself taken up by the antics of its characters. Most of all, the minor but prevalent character of Tom Baxter, an explorer met by others in the film while they're out in Egypt. Tom, however, also finds himself smitten by Cecilia, quite literally breaking through the fourth wall of cinema and joining her in her reality, whisking her away with promises of romance and happiness. However, they must not only contend with the limits of this world, but also the studio executives who catch wind of Tom's escape, as well as the actor who portrays Tom in the first place. The story here is certainly entrenched in trying to illustrate and emulate those feelings of romantic escapism and empowerment. It's effectively a magical realist fantasy as well as a critique of that idea, pitting Tom's idealistic naivety against the reality of a world he will never know or ever has to know, with Cecilia caught in the middle as she's pulled by the two opposing sides, herself racked with trying to decide which future to pursue. That said, the overarching tone of the movie is still light and optimistic, with cutaways to the other film characters and the theater audiences to add some comedic relief, and to help support the film's themes in a sort of reflective manner, showing what happens on both sides of the screen when the escapist fantasy is disrupted. It all makes for a generally upbeat story, which only makes things more tragic when reality comes back around to make itself known, or something to that effect. At the very least, though, it's a story that manages to celebrate the importance of movies for those whose lives are in low places, as well as the necessity of leaving the fantasy in the theater when the credits roll. Beyond the story, though, The Purple Rose of Cairo does well in its production to reflect the conflict between reality and film. There's a nice but kinda subtle split between the presentation of the two, with cinematography that feels more floaty and dreamy in scenes with Tom, almost akin to shots taken from movies of that era, while scenes without him are generally flatter and more grounded, allowing the world and its declining state to really fill the screen. Audio takes the same approach, staying quiet in the real world and filling up with music more during the fantastical story moments. The contrast is especially illustrated when we're able to see the world that Tom comes from, a black and white whirlwind of energy that does in fact copy the aesthetics of 1930s films very well, and truly sells the difference between worlds and why one would choose to escape into film. But again, the main idea here is less about pure wish fulfillment and more of the gap between the two, and the inability for the two worlds to ever truly meet. Still, it's not at all a stretch to say that the movie shows the power that film has to inspire others to try and reach through, whether it be from one side or the other. The Purple Rose of Cairo, Woody Allen, 1985. 4.5 stars. I'd definitely say that it's worth giving a watch. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have something to add, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I hope that I got across how I feel about this movie. I've been kind of stressed recently. Probably something I ate.